Elon Musk says workers at DOGE are putting in 120-hour work weeks. So, host of Fox Business's Making Money, Charles Payne, joins us now to take a look at a few of the cuts from this agency. This is very exciting. Think about this. He was inaugurated on the 20th, Charles.
Right.
And these are just the numbers that we've cut in the, 10 days?
It's called a whirlwind, and it's just getting started.
It is. Let's go through some of it. This is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Look how much we were spending. They had to cut almost $20 million. Department of Agriculture, Charles?
$110 million. Office of Personnel Management, $500 million. USAID, obviously, this is the one that's in the news right now.
Right.
Over $200 million.
Because Elon shut it down. Yeah,
well, here's the thing. Listen, all of these things ostensibly were designed for good reasons or good intentions, but then they become cover. You ever ask yourself, where do all these folks who work in these administrations go after the administration's ousted? How do they still live in mansions after they're out of government?
What's the answer?
Well, a lot of it is these NGOs. A lot of these NGOs operate things that are funded by USAID. And it's amazing. As we start to peel the layer of the onion, we're going to see people like, oh, I thought this person was a journalist. He's getting millions of dollars from taxpayers.
Right.
For what?
Right.
For what?
What exactly is this agency? What was it created to do?
Well, it was created to sort of represent America around the world and help other nations.
Humanitarian efforts.
It's aid. But again, it's like who decides what the aid is, who gets it, and by the way, who manages it? There's no accountability for it.
Right.
And so you've got to shut it down. It's become a beast. It does things that we're not supposed to do. So let's say Congress says, hey, we no longer want to do X, Y, Z in this country. USAID can fund an entity to do the same thing on behalf of special interests. So even though the government's not directly funding it, the taxpayers are still paying for it against the wishes of our Congress. It's really outlaw. It's become an outlaw industry.
I mean, people are waking up right now, getting ready to take their kids to school and go to their jobs. Hard-working Americans, they work for these tax dollars, and then we're wasting it on. Look at this. This is where we're sending money to other countries. Serbian LGBTQ rights group, they got $1.5 million. Electric vehicles for Vietnam, $2.5 million. South African transgender HIV research, $30 million. Uganda LGBTQ rights group, $4 million. And Egyptian tourism, $6 million. And I heard on Sean's show last night, we gave, according to Eric Schmidt, our senator, $20 million to Sesame Street shows in Iraq.
Yeah. And again, a lot of this is pushing an alternative agenda, right? And Uganda has their own government. They have their own people. They have their own say.
Right.
They may not want us pushing LGBTQ in their country, right? We're trying to force our values, or not. Sometimes it's not even our values. Sometimes it may be the values of special interests using taxpayer money. It has to stop. You say, how do we get this almost $40 trillion now in debt, right? $1 trillion a year just to service the debt. This is what's crushing America. If we want to remain the greatest nation in the world, we have to take these sort of haircuts, and it's not going to be hard. Everyone's like saying it's going to be hard. It's not going to be hard, but it does mean that a lot of these special interest groups are going to take a hit. They're very powerful. They have amazing resources. They control a lot. But they've never met the force of a combination of a President Trump and Elon Musk. They've never had that 1-2 combination before.
Yeah, I understand starving children in another country. I understand maybe helping with war efforts.
That's who we are.
But not these
That's who we are as a nation.
issues.
We've saved the country. We saved the world on a couple of occasions. We built the world on a couple of occasions. That's who America is. But these things have been hijacked. Our sympathy for the world, our compassion for the world has been hijacked by special interests who are doing two things: pushing an agenda and lining their pockets. It's time to say no.
You're right. Marco Rubio talked about this. You know, he was meeting with the El Salvadorian president. He was meeting with Maduro, already working hard in a short amount of time. And here's what he said, calling out USAID.
They are a global charity, that they take the taxpayer money and they spend it as a global charity, irrespective of whether it is in the national interest or not. USAID is not only not cooperative, they undermine the work that we're doing in that country. They are supporting programs that upset the host government. They're completely uncooperative. So we had no choice but to take dramatic steps to bring this thing under control. We are going to fund programs that make America stronger or safer or more prosperous. We're going to pay for things that make sense for the United States. The United States government is not a charity. It is not a global charity.
And what is the goal each day? How much does Elon want to cut?
Ultimately, I think $4 billion a day. That's the goal. And It's gonna listen. This is a lot of money. People are lining their pockets. There are people out there who are making hundreds of millions of dollars off of this, and it's a real nice cushion. They've got friends all the way in the media. They've got friends throughout the corporate world. They've got friends throughout government. It's not an easy thing. It can only, in my mind, have been achieved or could be achieved by an outsider with the kind of power of an Elon Musk, who can't be bought off, he can't be intimidated, and neither can the president. Again, that's the ultimate 1-2 punch for getting to some of this stuff, because there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure. And you're going to read articles today. How dare we deny people around the world? Who are we? Who have we become? We don't want to help the poor folks out there. Of course we do. We don't want to help their leader somewhere with a Swiss bank account.
Right. Or Sesame Street in Iraq.
Right.
I mean, it's common sense.
Exactly.
It goes back to that.
And again, what Rubio said Secretary Rubio said that was intriguing. Often it goes against the interests of either our interests or even the interests of those governments. It's not even in their interest.
It's not even helpful to them in some cases.
We're trying to instill certain things in some of these countries that they don't want.
Right.
And this is how we get into wars. This is how we get into to get involved in things that we should not be involved in. It's time to cut it out.